Yeah, you don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoked through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoked through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. Now I'm sipping on this whiskey, got one chance and it's risky, so you can't play around. And I got my team behind me like a background. I don't never back down, picking up the slack now. Now I'm focused, keep on grinding for my stacks now. I'm feeling lost in this ocean, where's a lighthouse? I keep on swinging for the fence and I ain't strike out. And yeah, that's how I'm feeling, yeah, that's how I'm feeling now. We're not here for a long time, yeah. It's 9 to 5, it's a long grind, yeah. A lot of to success, it's a long climb, yeah. Now I'm sitting here making up for time, yeah. Man, I took so many losses that I lost count. I didn't know what I was made of, but I found out. And this life will blindside, you better look out. These haters wanna see you fall and get you took out, yeah. Cause I fell on my face, and this life is a race. I keep on checking my place. Now I'm riding for my team, you can tell by my plates. And this life just threw a hook, it caught me right in the face. But I'm getting back up, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll climb a couple of mountains, I'll swim a couple of lakes. Don't got time for the bitching, don't got time for complaints. Now you going through some shit, now tell me how does it taste? You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoked through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoked through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. Now I'm living with my choices, I just own my mistakes. Cause I'm screaming fucking hand down, I ain't searching for breaks. But I'm barely treading water and this life is the lake. Now the pressure keeps on building as I'm raising the stakes. I ain't looking for advice, now I'm looking for space. Now I'm dealing with these losses, but I know I hate the taste. Now I'm sitting back, I'm thinking as I smoke it to the face. Now it's time for these apologies, the time is too late. So bygones be bygones, I'm on business with a tie on. So fuck a shoulder to cry on, I'ma get a hoppin' like Zion. Let's raise a glass, I'll toast that. Reminisce, we roast that. How I wrote them and ain't wrote back. I'm never flimsy, the goat's backs. I don't feel bad, no not at all. With a lot of years, write a lot of calls, a lot of birthdays without a call. Ain't got time for that, so fuck a fraud. You ain't there for me, I ain't there for you. You won't bleed for me, I won't bleed for you. All the hard times I lived through, keep moving, gotta get through. I got goals and cash I gotta get to, all these memories that I flipped through. If you can't relate, then don't judge. I'll stand my ground, I won't budge. I'm sitting back cause I burn buds, I swear to God this life's good. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoked through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoked through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. Yeah, you don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoked through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoked through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. Now I'm sipping on this whiskey, got one chance and it's risky, so you can't play around. And I got my team behind me like a background. I don't never back down, picking up the slack now. Now I'm focused, keep on grinding for my stacks now. I'm feeling lost in this ocean, where's a lighthouse? I keep on swinging for the fence and I ain't strike out. And yeah, that's how I'm feeling, yeah, that's how I'm feeling now. We're not here for a long time, yeah. It's 9 to 5, it's a long grind, yeah. A lot of to success, it's a long climb, yeah. Now I'm sitting here making up for time, yeah. Man, I took so many losses that I lost count. I didn't know what I was made of, but I found out. And this life will blindside you, better look out. These haters wanna see you fall and get you took out. Yeah, cause I fell on my face, and this life is a race. I keep on checking my place. Now I'm riding for my team, you can tell by my plates. And this life just threw a hook, it caught me right in the face. But I'm getting back up, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll climb a couple of mountains, I'll swim a couple of lakes. Don't got time for the bitching, don't got time for complaints. Now you going through some shit, now tell me how does it taste? You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoke through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoke through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. Now I'm living with my choices, I just own my mistakes. Cause I'm screaming fucking hand out, I ain't searching for breaks. But I'm barely treading water and this life is the lake. Now the pressure keeps on building as I'm raising the stakes. I ain't looking for advice, now I'm looking for space. Now I'm dealing with these losses, but I know I hate the taste. Now I'm sitting back, I'm thinking as I smoke it to the face. Now it's time for these apologies, the time is too late. So bygones be bygones, I'm on business with a tie on. So fuck a shoulder to cry on, I'ma get a hoppin' like Zion. Let's raise a glass, I'll toast that. Reminisce, we roast that. How I wrote them and ain't wrote back. I'm never flimsy, the goat's back. So I don't feel bad, no not at all. When a lot of years, write a lot of calls, a lot of birthdays without a call. Ain't got time for that, so fuck a fraud. You ain't there for me, I ain't there for you. You won't bleed for me, I won't bleed for you. All the hard times I lived through, keep moving, gotta get through. I got goals and cash, I gotta get to. All these memories that I flipped through. If you can't relate, then don't judge. I stand my ground, I won't budge. I'm sitting back cause I burn buds. I swear to God, this life's good. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoke through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoke through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through.
Gonna be so goddamn rich.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Gonna be fucking rich. I want my fucking money. Griffin, I want my fucking money. Yo, motherfucker. Holy shit, we're gonna be so fucking rich. Great. Damn it, we're gonna be so fucking rich. I want my fucking money.
You're an original,
Hey,
aren't
yelling,
you?
cowboy. Give me the fucking money. Get the goddamn money printer out.
Everyone, happy Friday.
Great. Bounty letter.
We're gonna be so fucking rich. Get the goddamn money
Let's fucking go. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before we start, let's get one thing straight. A lot of people still are unaware about this. Let's get a few things straight, all right? T+35 refers to calendar days. It includes all days, weekends, and holidays. Calendar days count every day on the calendar, regardless of whether the stock market is open or closed. If it were referring to business days, holidays and weekends would be excluded. But T+35 refers to calendar days, not business days. The T in the T+35 stands for the transaction date, and the +35 indicates the number of days after the transaction date. If the term explicitly references business days, it would be indicated as such. Period. So let's get that straight. Now, that's been said, this channel is a channel for adults. This channel is for people that can understand that basically it's a channel for people that are not paper-handed bitches. If you're a paper-handed bitch, you have no business being here. If you're too scared to realize that a date or a prediction does not equal the moon, then you have no business being in the stock market. None whatsoever, because you are way too emotional to even be trading a dime in the stock market. So now if that's understood, now we need to move forward and continue talking about dates, because dates are history, and history is important. And history doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Period. Now, happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. I am a bit under the weather. I was in the urgent care yesterday, so I did not get to stream as I was hoping to. But I'm back, baby, and we got to talk everything from swaps to ETFs to FTDs to the CAT system, because we've got new data from the CAT system. We've got new exchange-traded funds coming out against AMC and Gamestop. We've got new swaps reporting timelines. And I'm going to say this as succinctly as possible, and then we can discuss afterwards. The implied volatility on AMC and GameStop, on some of the contracts, even the $2 GameStop contracts expiring in less than 2 hours, the $2 calls have an implied volatility of over 6,000%. Those are deep, deep in the money call contracts. And the implied volatility on deep out of the money call contracts, such as the $125 calls expiring in less than 2 hours, is over 6,000 on some of these as well. So they're ranging between 4,000 to 6,000 plus on a lot of these, even as high as 7,000, depending on the broker that you're looking at. So, why might this be? The reality of the fact is the broker-dealers adjust their calculations for implied volatility based on pending news or expectations. If the broker-dealers have implied volatility on expiry this week, why do I got losers over here fucking spamming my chat? Mods, get them the fuck out of here. Gem Mint, nobody cares about you. All right, thank you guys very much. Let me get, the clown already got owned by Matt Kors in debate and couldn't name a hedge strat. First of all, Matt Kors is a fucking tool, okay? Second of all, the guy doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. And aside from maybe a little bit of simple technical analysis and putting rocket ships emojis on his chart, doesn't know a damn thing about trading or actual market mechanics. That being said, Matt Kors does not understand the difference between varying types of hedges. Period. You can hedge against many things, and that includes theta. You don't have to take the opposite side of a call or a put in order to create a hedge. Now, if you'd like more information on that, go look up Trading Basics 101, because I'm not here for that. Now that that's out of the way, see yourselves out. I'm sure you guys will be met with many more Matt Kors fanny pack slingers coming in the chat, because the guy doesn't even pop into my mind, let alone do I have people trying to troll or going on his live streams to copy-paste bullshit messages. So, swap reporting is real, and broker-dealers are well aware of the swaps. They're aware of the transactions and the swaps that are coming due. They are taking this into account into their new swap reporting guidelines, combined with the actual calculations that they use for implied volatility. So the broker-dealers have varying calculations that they can switch on the fly for implied volatility. And as you can see here, the OTC derivatives compliance calendar from the ISDA contracts basically here's what we're talking about. Effective June 24th, Monday, June 24th, 2024, the CFTC, Commodities Futures Trading Commission, capital and financial reporting requirements for swap dealers and major swap participants will begin. Now, what this means is that broker-dealers have been aware of this date coming for a significant period of time. And they are including the possibility of swaps possibly being rolled or covered in their implied volatility calculations. That is why, when historically IV were to be crushed if there is no price movement on a stock, we're having the opposite happen on AMC and GameStop. There is nearly zero price change on the stocks from over the last several days. But for over a week now, since even last Friday, there has been increasing implied volatility on AMC and GameStop call contracts expiring this week. That is the opposite of what happens. We're going to talk about the 1.1 billion options errors, my friend. You see that sitting here right here in the corner? We got that up and ready to rock and roll. Don't get me wrong. We're going to talk CAT system too. But right now we're talking swaps. Now these swaps must be rolled. The longest swaps swaps can be indefinitely long. They can be extremely long. But there's a variety of different kind of swaps. And many of them are about 3 years or even slightly more, 38, 39 months. And what we're seeing here is that there is a new fund. Well, not a new fund, but a new exchange-traded fund for both GameStop and AMC that is being released by somebody by the name of Matthew Tuttle. This guy was instrumental in the scam known as single stock ETFs. What are single stock ETFs? Swaps being used to abuse a single stock. A single stock ETF is a misnomer. It is nothing. It means absolutely zero because a single stock ETF is just the single stock. But the reason that they call it an exchange-traded fund is because they use swap agreements with major global financial institutions whereby the fund and the global financial institution agree to exchange the return earned on investment by the fund in that stock that is equal to a certain percentage of the value of the fund's net assets, for example. So as you can see here, Matthew Tuttle. Does that sound familiar, that last name? I know you guys remember a Brian Tuttle who had filed some very, what's the word I'm looking for? Frivolous lawsuits against AMC stock. Yep. So this is Matthew Tuttle. I wonder if there's any relation to Brian Tuttle, the guy who had filed multiple frivolous lawsuits against AMC. So Matthew created the only ETF that shorts companies, which became public offerings through a special purpose acquisition company. Again, swaps. And he created the first ETF that goes short another actively managed ETF when he saw that short institutions needed a better risk management tool. Basically, this guy right here Matthew Tuttle of Tuttle Capital Management, is the best friend of companies like Citadel, Virtue, State Street, Jane Street, Susquehanna, all these other fucking tools. What is happening here is they have filed to create a new fund, an exchange-traded fund, that invests in swap agreements that provide 200% inverse, which means opposite, daily exposure to both GameStop and AMC, equal to at least 80% of the fund's net assets, plus borrowings for investment purposes. So on a daily basis, they are using swaps to short the stock, to create fake share locates. The advisor attempts to consistently apply leverage to obtain short GameStop and AMC exposure for the fund equal to negative 200% of the value of its net assets, and expects to rebalance the fund's holdings daily to maintain such exposure. As a result of its investment strategies, the fund will be concentrated in the industry to which GameStop and AMC are assigned. This is known as the T-Rex 2X Inverse AMC Daily Target ETF and the T-Rex 2X Inverse GME Daily Target ETF. These swaps are the reason that you see AMC and GameStop moving in the same direction. GameStop comes out with bullish news, the stock gets shorted down, both AMC and GameStop go down in price, even though the information is unrelated to the other stock. These stocks beat earnings. AMC has an earnings beat for, say, 12 quarters in a row. AMC goes down, GameStop goes down right along with it, because they are in the same basically asset class here. Again, they hold 25% or more of its total assets and investments that provide inverse exposure in the industry to which GameStop is assigned. This goes along with other stocks that you've seen out there, like COS and DJT, and so on and so forth. So a lot of times when you see, why do these meme stocks move upward or downward at the same time when the other one is doing something, it is because of these exchange-traded funds that are moving in correlation because of the swap agreements and the ISDA contracts that are being used to artificially create share locates and reduce the cost to borrow, allow them to kick the can, allow them to avoid failing to deliver, even if there's nothing there underlying. It's the same thing we saw with FTX and Bittrex. They, in reality, didn't hold anything as far as AMC and GameStop stock. But the broker-dealers, let's say Robinhood, was able to lend shares using FTX and Bittrex as the locates, because at that point, Robinhood, let's say, the broker-dealer, has plausible deniability that these are not real. So they can state that they are lending shares that they believe they can grab out of thin air from this exchange-traded fund, from this tokenized security, either through the T-Rex 2X Inverse AMC or GameStop Daily Target ETF, or from the FTX and Bittrex tokenized securities, which we found, without a shadow of a doubt, when FTX went bankrupt and became insolvent, that they didn't hold a single fucking share of AMC or GameStop, but they still used hundreds of millions of shares that they were held, of which the underlying asset was not contained, meaning they didn't have a single fucking share. They just claimed they did, and then they lent those out to reduce the cost to borrow, to allow shorting to occur, when in reality it was all naked. The emperor has no fucking clothes. Now, somebody here in the chat says, today's a good example of why I never get into the hype of a date or event. It's always a disappointment. As I stated in the beginning, this is a channel for adults. If you cannot handle dates, then see yourself out. If you are not a good enough trader to be able to control your emotions and not fucking start bitching and moaning and crying and whining because something didn't happen on a certain date, you need to exit the stock market altogether and go see a financial advisor to handle your funds for you, because you have no business trading in financial markets. That being said, let's take a look at, now that we've discussed swaps, We've discussed exchange-traded funds. Let's take a look at the consolidated audit trail. Before I move on to the consolidated audit trail, here's one thing that people need to realize. We don't actually know the date that Roaring Kitty bought his 5 million shares of GameStop. We speculated that it was sometime between the 15th and the 17th of May, but in reality, we have no fucking clue. Not a single clue. All we know is the date that he showed us his position. Now, let's take a look at the consolidated audit trail and see how many rehypothecations and naked shorts and errors were found. Let's take a look. We're looking at equities now from May 10th through May 28th. Let's see, on 5/17, there was 5.7 million errors. 5.7 million errors in shares on one single day. On the 20th of May, there was 12 million. On the 21st of May, there was 51.3 million share errors. These are naked shorts, failures to deliver, rehypothecations. These are shorts marked as long. This is a complete failure by the market makers to deliver. Now let's take a look here. On June 7th, there was 199 million errors in shares on one day alone. One day alone. And then as you can see here, June 3rd, 85 million as well. These are all naked shorts, rehypothecations, massive, massive errors. But the real news is, let's take a look at the options. On May 21st, there was 47.4 million options. Let's get the handy dandy calculator out. And let's just calculate. 47 million times 100. That is 4.7 billion shares worth of errors in the options market on May 21st alone. Let's take a look at June 7th. 1.1 billion. 1,137,524,086 times 100. That is 113 billion shares, 752,408,600 in error. This is everything from shorts marked as long, rehypothecations, naked shorts, synthetic shorts, operational shorts, etc. in one day. That's on June 7th alone. And now here's one thing I got to tell you, as we discussed. The only thing we know for sure is the date that June 2nd is the date that Roaring Kitty showed us that he had 5 million shares of GameStop. We don't know the date that he bought. We don't have that information. Just because he showed us this on June 2nd doesn't mean that June 2nd is the day he bought. We had previously speculated that he bought sometime between the 15th and the 17th of May, because those are some of the dates that he was heavily tweeting. But that is not any proof whatsoever that those are the days that he bought those 5 million shares. But taking a look here, June 3rd, June 6th, he posted his updates. We can see that. June 10th. And then on June 13th, we got wind that he sold about 80,000 of his 120,000 call contracts, and then exercised 40,000. Now I'm going to explain another thing for those people that don't understand this. His price paid average was $23.41. His price average would not have gone down had he exercised the call contracts. From $20, it would not go down, because it has to include, it must include from the broker-dealer the cost of the premium paid. Anybody who's ever exercised a call contract on E-Trade will confirm that this is the truth. So his average, after exercising 40,000 call contracts or so to get 4,001,000 shares on top of the 5 million he already had, would be well aware that the average price would go from about $20 to around $23 and change. It makes perfect sense because he went from having 5 million shares to now having 9,001,000 shares. If he would have bought at the market price, because at the time when he did this, the price of GameStop was around $28 to $29. His average price would be closer to $25 or $26. So anybody who's out there telling you that E-Trade said to some random guy that you don't know who it is, that they don't include the premium in their calculation, that guy was either lying or speaking to a junior customer service rep at E-Trade who doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. So no, in my opinion, this price paid is not possible that he sold all contracts and bought 4 million shares outright. Without a doubt. I will die on my shield here because I know that I'm fucking right. If you calculate an estimated, say, $400 to $600 in premium per call contract across the 40,000 contracts that were exercised, and then average it out over the 4 million additional shares that he got, it would be exactly around $23.50. And we can see here it's $23.41, meaning that his premium on most of these contracts was exceptional. We can't figure out his exact premium because he made multitudes of different buys of 5,000 contracts at a time, which was absolutely brilliant work, and he bought them in 15-minute increments. Therefore, he did not sell all 120,000 contracts. He exercised some of them, without question. So now, we can see here that on June 7th, there was 1.1 billion errors in the options market. That is indicative of 113.7 billion shares worth of errors in the stock market. 1.13 billion. Now, let's see. If he had bought this update of his, sorry, let me go back. Come on, it's chugging along. Anyways, the date on that was June 2nd. And I'll show you guys here because I'd rather show you guys. So his update was on June 3rd here, June 2nd here as well. On June 2nd, he posted his information. And we can see here that on June 3rd, T+1 from then, there were 6.5 million errors. 6.5 million errors the day after. And the reason I'm looking at the day after is because of June 2nd was a weekend. It was a Sunday night. June 3rd would be the Monday when people could actually enter the market because obviously the market's closed on Sunday, excuse me. So that would be June 3rd. And then June 7th, we had $1.1 billion options contracts that were late, rehypothecations, naked shorts, synthetic shorts, operational shorts, etc. And the day prior, he posted an update there as well, which showed that he still had his June 21 calls. So this right here, in my opinion, is a absolute fuck ton of retail buying. Retail buying. Going wild. All right, now, when you're looking at 113 billion shares worth of errors in a single day, you know that there's a massive systemic risk to all of these hedge funds and family offices and broker dealers and crypto brokers and so on and so on. And with this, The Securities Exchange Commission has a bloody fingerprint on every single one of these options contracts and every single one of these shares that could have possibly occurred. Now, if you want my honest opinion, I don't think that Roaring Kitty actually bought his shares on May 17th. I think he may have bought them on May 21st. Sorry, this is options. Excuse me. Let me go back up here. Equities. Where the hell was I? There it is. I don't think, sorry, yeah. I think he bought them either on the 20th or the 21st, and I'll explain why. Because May 15th through 17th, we saw 2 million shares errors, 582,000, and 5.7 million. And those are substantial. That's a substantial number of errors. But if you look here, we have 12.1 million share errors on May 20th and 51.3 million on the 21st. So even though he was putting out tweets and people were going wild on this week of the 13th through the 17th, I actually believe that he probably bought them after that date. Because as we know, his first update in shares, before we knew what was going on, was posted on June 2nd. So he could not have bought them after June 2nd because we know he had the 5 million shares prior to that. So it must have been sometime before June 2nd. Here on June 3rd, in my opinion, the reason we're seeing 85.3 million errors is because retail investors jumped into GameStop and AMC and other meme stocks as such, knowing about the exchange-traded funds and swaps, baskets, and derivatives. And that's why we saw this the following day. Now, that's not Roaring Kitty's fault in any way, because retail investors must be responsible for their own decisions. Whether that's deciding about dates, deciding if someone else is buying or selling, you have to be responsible for your own decisions at all times. But if we look here closely, the day prior here, we had 1.2 million, 244 million, 1.5 million, and 700,000 errors. But again, on the 21st of May and the 20th of May, we had 51.3 million and 12.1 million share errors. The week that Roaring Kitty was sharing his information was the week prior. That's the week in which Roaring Kitty was not sharing his information, was sharing his memes on the stocks. So retail investors, if they were going to pile in based off that, in my opinion, they would have already done so in that week. They wouldn't have waited until like Monday or Tuesday. This, in my opinion, is specifically related to the purchase of the 5 million shares. And just because we haven't seen anything happen through today, being the T+35 of the dates that we speculated that he may have bought his shares, doesn't mean that we were right at all onto the days that he bought them, because we don't know that he bought them at all, other than knowing that on June 2nd he had 5 million shares. That's all we really know. And he was tweeting from the 13th through the 17th of May. He could have bought them any one of those days, the 20th, 21st, 22nd, etc. But just based off of this volume alone, I'm speculating that he bought either the 20th or the 21st. And that is a lot of what led to these 12 to 51 million share errors in one day. And then here again as well, options errors. We had equities errors on June 7th, 199 million shares worth of options errors on June 7th. And we didn't get an update from Roaring Kitty on June 7th. We didn't get an update at all. So where those came from also remains to be seen. Now, I'll take some questions. I'll give you guys 5 minutes of questions. If you guys want to ask me any, dump them in the chat right now, and then we'll go over them. But as I explicitly stated at the beginning of this stream, the swaps reporting deadline begins on June 24th, Monday. And the reason for the increased volatility on AMC and GameStop call contracts expiring this week is not related to the price whatsoever, but simply to the fact that the broker-dealers understand that the market makers might start rolling some of these swaps, which could cause a huge increase in price in some of these exchange-traded funds that would be bad for guys that are invested in them or guys that are short. This may happen in the after hours. It may not happen at all. It may not happen until next week. They may have found other exchange traded funds in which to roll these swaps already. But because of the risk of the probabilities of that happening, the implied volatility on these stocks is ridiculous. Little Buddha asks, so is nothing going to happen today? My friend, that's not something that I can answer. I've told you guys time and time again, there's a possibility of things happening. That's why the market makers are pricing the implied volatility so high. Implied volatility does not trick people into buying contracts. Implied volatility is one of the main drivers of a price of a contract. So if a stock price moves in a large way, the higher the implied volatility, the more the basis, the more the delta of that contract will change, the more value it will have. So the same contract with, say, 200% volatility will only be worth so much, but that same contract with 1,000% volatility, the exact same strike, exact same expiry, everything, will have exponentially more potential profits or losses. What do I do with my expiring contracts? Roll. First of all, I can't provide you financial advice. But second of all, how the hell are you going to roll contracts that expire today, my man, if they're worth like a fucking penny or a few pennies or whatever? But you got to think for yourself, what are you going to do with your contracts if they expire today? Who's going to buy your contracts that expire in an hour and 27 minutes or whatever the fuck time we have? Okay, there are dates on this channel for a reason, because we are adults. And if you can't handle dates and it not doing exactly what you expected, you have no business being in the fucking stock market at all. At all, period. I'm sorry if I have to be the one to tell you that. But I don't say no dates because I'm not a fucking paper-handed bitch, and I'm not going to go home and cry and whine or complain or YOLO everything into a fucking contract that expires on a certain date like a fucking idiot. Because we've had this conversation many, many times on this channel. Whopper says, I'm curious to see what happens in the after hours. They're dropping GME hard right now. I agree. That's the thing a lot of people don't understand. Is come 3 p.m., anything could happen. Anything could happen. No limit investor, just like last week, another nothing burger. Oh, boo-hoo. Oh, so sad. So sad. Feel free to see your way out, my friend. These massive red candles are making me laugh. It screams of desperation. Yeah, and that's the thing, is you don't know what's going to fucking happen in the after hours. Today is the biggest options expiry date in history of the stock market, period. There's like 5.1 trillion. Is it trillion or billion dollars worth? Somebody pull that up for me. I know one of you guys has it. Today is a huge OPEX day. OPEX dollars today. It's a massive number. $5.1 trillion in OPEX today, in options expiry today. This is the first time in history that there has ever been $5.1 trillion in OPEX in one day. Now, what does that mean? That means that market makers definitely want this shit to expire out of the money. All of those call contracts. And then in the after hours, there's no saying what's going to happen. There's no saying. Does the T+35 include the holidays market was closed, or are those extra days? That's a common misconception. T+35 includes any days. All right, check it out. I even went ahead and I asked ChatGPT for you guys so you could see. T+35 refers to calendar days, not business days. The T stands for transaction date. The +35 indicates the number of days after. If the term references business days, it would be indicated as such. In the absence of such, it is generally understood to mean calendar days. This is meant to make everything in settlement simpler in general. Max Payne is $22.50. They're puking synthetics to get it down there. Now you're getting it, my friend. Now you're understanding. Max Payne is there for a reason. The market makers will always try to end a Friday at or below Max Payne for GameStop and AMC, because otherwise they have to delta hedge for call contracts that are in the money on options expiry. Period. Yeah, people freak out over every little thing. It seems that people forgot that a few weeks ago AMC was trading at $2, and a few weeks ago GameStop was trading at $10 a share. And of course, even though they're both up 100%, 150% or so from last month, a lot of people are already fucking whining and crying. And I think a lot of them are new retail investors that aren't seasoned, that don't understand what's going on in the way that a lot of you do. So you know what? If you're new to the channel and you learned something new, give this a thumbs up. If you learned 2 things new that you didn't know before, subscribe if you want to keep learning, because that's what the whole fucking point of this channel is. To keep explaining and teaching people things about what's going on in these stocks, because these stocks are not your standard investment. Not whatsoever. These stocks are completely special in their own way, because there's nothing else like it on the markets. You go look at Netflix, and it's owned, 80% of it is owned by hedge funds and family offices and institutions. You look at AMC and GameStop, and 95% of it or more has been proven now to be owned by retail fucking investors. Real diamond-handed motherfuckers. And that is what sets this apart. This is the biggest threat to short hedge funds and family offices in financial history. Maybe only second to the derivatives and paper used to short gold and silver. So in my opinion, I will say the gold and silver potential squeeze is the only thing that has more leverage against it and higher possibility for a squeeze than AMC or GameStop. The difference is that central banks and countries around the world own a shit ton of gold and silver, whereas AMC and GameStop are owned 90 to 95% plus or more by retail investors. That's the real difference. So now, I think I've said enough. This video is 47 minutes long. I want other people to watch it. I want you guys to have a great fucking weekend. Touch grass, for fuck's sake. Touch grass. Don't be afraid of dates. History is important, and future outlook is even more important, because dates is how we learn and how we prepare. There needs to be multiple strategies, much more so than just YOLO into weeklies because there's a potential for something to fucking happen. That's not the way that anybody should be investing. New ape here, my 30,000 investment I bought in April at $277 a share is still green. Cheers, my friend. Yeah, exactly. We were talking about this for ages now. GameStop at $10, AMC at $2. We may not ever see these prices again. That's exactly what we were fucking saying, and I stand by that. So I wish you peace and wealth. Have a great fucking weekend. Cheers, motherfuckers. We're going to be filthy fucking rich. Woo! I'll leave you guys with my song, my favorite song. Gonna be so goddamn rich.
I think it's time to blow this thing. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Gonna be fucking rich.
I want my fucking money. Griffin, I want my fucking money. Yo, motherfucker.
Holy shit, we're gonna be so fucking rich.
Damn it, we're gonna be so fucking rich. Griffin, I want my fucking money.
You're an original,
Hey,
aren't
yelling,
you?
give me the fucking money. Get the goddamn money printer out.
bounty better.
We're gonna be so fucking rich. Get the goddamn money printer out.
Cheers. Thank you very much for your support. I read your chats. I read your tweets. Wombat, Poot. Oh, let's see. So this dude hypes every damn time the stock goes up a little. Abandons AMC and Junos on the GME bandwagon after shit-talking its potential. Then buys calls for today. Gets pissed off that he lost. As you can see, Wombat didn't listen to the stream whatsoever, because the guy has obviously no idea what the fuck he's talking about. But again, anybody who's been here for an extended period of time knows significantly better. There's a reason that my hat says GME and AMC on it. But don't worry, Wombat. I appreciate the fact that you keep me in your mind. I love living rent-free in your head, because in reality, I've never, ever thought about you, and I will never think about you. Period. Cheers, baby. We're going to be filthy fucking rich.